while back, I had a skin issue called rosacea, a disease that, according to conventional medicine, is incurable. And then I came across a colleague who said he had a special miracle cure from Hungary with him and that it might help me. I was intrigued. It helped many others, he said, and all you had to do was spray it. It sounded so fascinating. So I just went ahead and I ordered a basic supply for 3 months from him. And indeed, after just 3 months of using this miracle product, the problem was history and I was so thrilled. But only then, I discovered the true potential of this company about 3 months later. I went to a seminar where I met many people and we exchanged ideas with them. This is when I realized that there are many other potential outcomes and product results. And there were even financial opportunities with the company itself. And I was so fascinated by some of these conversations. These people shared with me that they earn 1,000 or 2,000 euros a week by selling this product. And when I asked them how they did it, all they told me was to just spray everything that moves, they said. The products, they do the job for you. Yes, and I found that so fascinating. And I can confirm it works. I've noticed it once again in recent months. You simply use the product and you get approached immediately. And back then I thought if even half of it is true, I guess I would be neglecting my duty to not talk to all my people about it. If someone had told me that this is what would happen in this short period of time, I wouldn't have believed it. Today, there are thousands of customers of the product coming from different countries. And they reorder these products regularly, and many of them even receive the products for free. By selling them, they earn a few hundred or even a few thousands of euros per month or even per week, because they are ambassadors for Lavylites, just like me. If you're open to this exciting opportunity to change your life, then get in touch with me, because we do not only have great products, but also a sophisticated, simple, replicable system for every partner from day one. And this way, you too can earn a few thousand euros in the first month alone.
So, welcome to our weekly inspiration call. This was my short story in English. Who know me, realize that the video is I think 3, 4, or 5 years old, was in the beginning. And I'm happy that we are doing this inspiration call today in English again. I think we did it once or twice, 2 or 3 years ago when there was a Corona time. And yes, normally we do this inspiration call every week in German. And now, the first Wednesday in the month, normally with the translator to English. And today we're doing it in English the first time with the translation into German. Yeah, what are we talking about? It's all about inspiration. It's about Lavylites. It's about the wonder from Hungary. Some call it energy spray. Some are talking about consciousness cosmetic. For other people, it is the chance of their life. And today we want to share experience. We want to share stories. We want to talk about why Lavylites. So you can talk about your experience. You can talk about the reason why you are on this mission with us, or perhaps you have only a short story which is inspiring. And I don't know who want to be the first. There were a few people who said, I am in. I have a story, even if I'm not a professional English speaker. So on the left, I see a hands up. I don't know, put your microphone on. Yes, and then your stage is yours. You. Let's start with you and then with Andreas.
Hello, do you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Hi, I'm talking from North Germany, Lüneburger Heide, next to Hamburg. I want to tell a story about my second oldest brother. He was on vacation on a skiing holiday and he twisted his knee and broke his meniscus. So after 8 years, after the operation completed already, 8 years later, it was the first time that it swallowed, and that when he moved his leg, it has a huge pain inside the knee, and he didn't know what he shall do, and he was very asking himself, 8 years ago, but nothing else happened, and never had pain after the operation. And I came up with this Auricum. And I said, just spray it. How often, Julia? Like they say 10 minutes, give a shit. Spray as often if you like to spray it. When you think about it, just do it. And I'd asked him twice and he didn't tell me anything. And one day we met us in our village and he came up to me and said, by the way, I didn't tell you because it was like a wonder. It was swallowing up in the first night. It swallowed completely gone. The whole swallowing was gone. And guess what? My first step, the pain wasn't there anymore. And I get goosebumps when I'm talking about it because I can't believe him really, no? But then I had one experiences. I did too much sports, and I make many stretching and yoga, and I did too much. And in the nighttime, I woke up because of my pain. And then I decided like, it's staying next to my bed. So why don't try it? So I sprayed it on myself, and I was like, after 20 seconds, listen, 20 seconds. And I was like, oh goodness, thanks God that we have this special product and that it found the way to me. And my work, I was a business administrator for ages, but then they said I have the wrong gender and I can't work over the world. And I said, fuck off. I skipped the work and I did the thing what I always liked to do when I was a little kid. So I started the journey to be a holistic body worker. And I am a mother also. And in 2009, I decided what is good for me and my baby and my stomach. So I decided to make this Hawaii Lomi Lomi massage. And now I'm a professional for Romi bodywork. And it's working from the heart and from the intuitive work. And I'm so blessed that I can combine this two best products I always have been holding in my hands, like my own hands and Lavylites. And I'm very, very glad.
Thank you, you for your story. So the next person, I would say now also a good friend, Dr. Andreas Jell. He's a doctor of quantum cybernetics. I think, I don't know if it's a right translation in English. He's also a Reiki master, and he has a lot of education, the health field. Why are you doing Lavylites, Andreas?
Thank you, Toby, very much for the invitation to be able to talk here. I'm not a Reiki master. Quantum cybernetics is okay, and I've worked on universities and did some stuff in combining quantum physics and traditional Chinese medicine. This is when I began to see that there is regulation going on of many years of the Chinese, and the actual understanding of what quantum mechanics brings brought a complete different perspective. And I was teaching this on universities. So, and I did it in my own clinic. And if you like, I don't talk too much about myself, but I would like to show you one of my heart openers. And if you give me the co-host, I can show you a little presentation so that you have a little idea of what I'm talking about. I've been into medicine for 30 years. I had my own clinic going. Okay. And so I know what I'm talking about when I say this is something that cannot happen and cannot be explained by regular medicine. So let me show you the stuff. Yeah. Okay. So everyone sees this part? Yes, I think so.
Yes.
Can I get a thumb up if this is visible for everyone?
Yep, perfect.
Okay, so it's a simple EEG that I made in a crisis when I was diagnosed a quite severe genetic disease of my heart muscle. I've been living with this my whole life, but it was diagnosed in March 2020, the same day when the first lockdown in Germany was called. So I had my personal lockdown when I got the diagnosis. It's very easy to die on these symptoms. It's the sudden heart death that people experience when they fall off. But I'm still alive. That's the good thing. And I got the diagnosis in March. And in October, I first time in my life got the real symptoms of this disease. So it was terrible. So there was pain, there was arrhythmia, and there was panic all night long and the next morning. So I really was about to decide to go to the hospital and to let the doctors do what they wanted, because I surrendered. It was too bad on a symptom. And Simona, my loving wife, said, take some Lavylite, because I was not thinking about this possibility. Why should Lavylite do something on a solid disease pattern that is there and that is running its own dynamics? So what I want to show you is the ECG that I was taking with my watch, my Apple Watch. And what you can see here is the first measurement that I did in around noontime. Full asymptomatic of this panic, of pain in the throat, in the head, in the chest. And so this was quite dramatic. And what you can see, even if you don't know anything about ECG, it's a mess. It's not regular. The heart was jumping in all directions. It was full chaotic. So I was clear enough that I wanted to make a research out of it. So I took the EGC and then I sprayed. I sprayed on my heart, of course. I sprayed on my neck, and I took some acupuncture points that are good for regulating heart stuff. And what I want to make you aware, the specific disease that I have with my heart muscle, it makes not only irregular heartbeat, arrhythmia, but it makes weird stuff like triple peaks and long pauses. And this, I felt when it happened, it was very unpleasant. Yeah, fear-inducing. So what happened after 30 seconds after spraying? You might say not so much, but when you look quite precisely, most of the symptoms of the peaks already started to come into a normal structure. After 30 seconds, the symptoms still were as they were before. So I waited 5 minutes after the first spray. And this is how it looked after 5 minutes. So something happened in my system that was able to set out the full-blown crisis of this heart, let's say, problem that rose acute and that cannot be easily stopped, because once it's running, there is hardly a possibility to interfere. So 5 minutes after this first spray, the symptoms lowered. It was way easier to handle the situation. And what you can see here is only one rumbling, and the rest of the heart already started to go regular. There were almost no breaks in between anymore after 5 minutes. So I decided not to spray another time, but to wait half an hour. I really wanted to know it. And after half an hour, you can see the next part. We have 2 chaotic moments, and the rest was quite regular and exciting because after 30 minutes, all my symptoms were gone. So I did the second spraying because I was not quite content with the structure and was wondering if there is even more balance possible. And this is what you can see after 30 seconds, after the second spray, you have a complete normal, like a clock work going with the heart. All symptoms were gone that were persisting for many hours throughout the entire night and the morning. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to know after 10 minutes, you see, it remained. It were only 2 pumps on the places that I already said. It was the heart, the neck, the head, and 2 acupuncture points. And 1 hour later, after the second spraying, the regulation still was perfect. And my mood was completely different. So this is the difference. If you want to compare before spraying in midst of the crisis and after 2 pumps of auricum.
Wow.
Now, this is the paperwork. The real stuff that really struck me was not that the EEG was okay. This is just the signal for what happened inside myself. And after being over the crisis, I decided with my wife to go on a ride with my bike. I needed to move. I was so happy in a way, and I was agitated in a way. I needed to do something that proved that I'm alive. And going out there, I was really overwhelmed. The emotional presence of this moment, everything was so beautiful, and I thought it hardly was able to somehow digest it in my heart. So I said, wow, this is not just the symptom is gone, but something else is happening. And I suddenly got this old feeling of wanting to die that I had for a long time in my youth, and that was part of my training to somehow come back into life. And this was suddenly there. And in the same moment, I realized I am alive and I have survived. And this life is taking place now. So this little process was, while I was riding the bike, just one thought after another. And what was left was an incredible feeling of oneness, of gratefulness, of love. And I said, wow, this is what Lavylite really is about. And I was so grateful to have this experience and to have the direct contact with what struck me before, because we know each other, Toby, for 5 years, and I've seen a lot of stuff and on myself and on many patients in my clinic and with my friends and my family. And so I knew already that Lavylite really was the burner. But in this specific experience, to me, it was clear that it's really the quantum regulation that I was talking about all the time. Because this kind of effect to turn the chaos into the perfect set point, into how it really should be. My heart was expanded. I was completely back in life and not only surviving, but 100% present and in my most favorite experience that I can imagine. So this was my little story. And if you allow me, I can suggest a little experiment or a little exploration, if you like. Because what I learned of all this stuff was a very simple detail. If you want to cooperate with your quantum self, with those inner processes that constantly want to drive you into the best version that you are in your life, because this is what happened using Lavylite. I suggest 3 steps to explore. The first step is go into the experience and expect the best. Tell yourself what you really want to experience, not that the pain is gone, but what is it that you really want as you spray? The best ever. The second step, spray. From my experience, it's not so important where you spray because it's non-local. It's really a quantum reality. You can spray it anywhere and your system will transport it to where it's best invested. You can use the basic protocol or whatever you want. And the third step, this is something that I really suggest, and this is what strikes me most, is go into an expanded exhalation process or breathing process and allow to become very silent for 3 cycles of breath. Really go inside yourself and start listening to these inner subtle processes of your quantum processor, of your quantum self. It will really talk to you. It doesn't talk in form of ideas and thoughts, but you might get the feeling that you really want to feel, the set point feeling of being connected with yourself, of being in contact with your innermost essence. And to get there, you have to know this is very subtle. And to get this subtlety and the gentleness of these quantum processes, just allow yourself to become silent and to enjoy the ride into this silence. So this is what I wanted to share today. And thanks for allowing me to speak here and for your special attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andreas, for your for your story, for your contribution, or how to say in English. I'm not pretty sure.
I hope it wasn't too long.
It's fine. It was worth.
That's my problem all the time.
I know. We can make our own call only with you for a few hours, and one day we will do. So next speaker have to be a little bit more faster. We have some old habits. I don't know how to say, no, alte Hasen. Bernadette.
Yes. Am I unmuted? I think so. Yeah, now it's difficult to speak after someone like Andreas. I also have a lot of very, very fascinating experiences over the years. But for me, the most important thing is that all our cells come into self-regulation with Lavylites. I think it's not so much about telling stories of what's happening. It's, as Andreas says, it's about spraying and giving our body and all our cells and systems the energy that they need to get into regulation. And we are meant to be whole and to be healthy. And our body does have these abilities, and Lavylites supports us with this. But for me, it's not only the products, of course, it's the business also, because it gives me the freedom to live wherever I want. I'm traveling a lot with my husband. We have a very nice little motorhome, and I'm traveling all over the world, and I can do my business wherever I want. And for me, it's also important that I can do what I want with whomever I want. Because in my previous life, I was working for the Chamber of Commerce, and I was very successful there. But then you always had to do what there's always somebody that tells you what you need to do. And whether it makes sense or not, you have to follow it. You don't need that when you can work with Lavylites. You are your own boss. And this freedom for me is the most important thing. And then last not least, there's a second very, very important reason that is not mentioned very often. That's the community. There's so many wonderful people, and I've met so many people in this community, and our business plan promotes that everybody's working together. There's nobody working against anybody else. Nobody is considered as a concurrent. We're all partners, and we're all working together. Like, for example, Toby is offering this beautiful platform for all of us. Thank you, Toby. And we are not in the same line, but it doesn't matter for him. And that's something you never find in any other company. And that's, for me, that's the third really, really big reason that speaks for Lavylites. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Bernadette. There are a lot of reasons. I am with you. Yes, it gives us the chance to work wherever we want. Yeah, we can travel around the world. Perhaps you put your names in the chat. So today we are also from, I think, at least 5, 6, 7 different countries. But okay, let's go to the next person who wants to share something. I have 2 names. Marcella Hensch. I heard you speak English. Or Otto Maximilian. Who is the first? Michela. No. Marcella. Okay. If none of you are here, who's next? So who speaks English and has to share something with us?
I can, Toby.
Yeah.
So I have a very short story. Hey, everybody, I'm really happy to be here, and so beautiful what you said, Bernadette, and yes, Andreas, always. So I have a really great, amazing experience when my dad, who was bleeding very, very fast and long, and he was bleeding. He had he hurt himself, and it was just running down his legs, and the skin was very thin. And then, we didn't know what to do, and then we came with a sensitive, and we were spraying on it, and it was stopping immediately. And this was really like, you know that it's working like this, but when you see it on a really old person with very thin skin, and it normally never stops, it was like
anticoagulated.
It stopped. The bleeding was stopping, and this was so amazing. And we were like 5 people around him are looking and said, oh my God, what is going on here? So this was a really very beautiful and big experience for me, besides all the other things I experienced with Lavylite. So this is, I wanted to share with you. Thank you.
Thank you for your story. So who is next? I know Carmen is speaking English.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi from Vienna Airport. I'm just traveling right now, and I have to be so thankful towards Lavylites because like 2 days before I was about to fly to Cyprus, like 10 days ago, I twisted my foot like so badly that without Lavylites, it would have been just impossible to actually make this trip, to go on this trip. I didn't go to see a doctor. I was just spraying Chinese spirits in my face, in my aura, and of course for my foot, I was using Oracle. I can, sorry. And the pain immediately stopped. Of course, my foot is still not all right. As you can see, I don't know the word for this in English. Like my walking is a bit funny. I'm going slow, but I could make it on that trip, you know. I had no pain and I was just fine. And that's really one more reason why I'm so grateful that these products came into my life. Another thing is that I'm happy to have this kind of pocket business because my business is going with me anywhere I'm going, you know. I don't need to be sitting, running a shop or staying in one place. I can just do my stuff from wherever. So I think that's enough for now. Yeah, these products are really amazing. Life-saving. Really.
Life-saving.
Yes.
Life-changing. Yes. Thank you, Carmen.
Yay. Bye.
Who want to share his story, her story? Who else is speaking English? We have time for 1 or 2 more stories. Philip.
Yes, now I'm unmuted. Yeah, hello everybody. My story is heard from a lot of people in here, but maybe I can tell it in English. It's quite interesting because it's not only the health in which Lavylites helps, it's also the mental side. And like some said before, it helps where it's needed. And I had an issue in 2021 in autumn. I had a breakdown with a friend and also a business partner. He let me down, and I had no future. I said, okay, I'm 62 now. Leave me alone. I sit on my bench and look TV and sleep all day, and I had no more fun. I had a depression. I was down, and on January 22, I got in contact with Sarah and some other ladies here, and they invited me to have a Zoom call and listen to Lavylites and what it can do. And then they said to me, okay, come on, Guy, you can't lose nothing. Just go and buy the basic protocol, the stuff you need, and do it for 4 weeks and fill out the protocol so that you know how you have been when you used it. And I did this and I said, okay, come on, leave me alone, let it do. And I will give it 4 weeks. Okay. And after 2 weeks, I sprayed the basic protocol. I was completely changed. My life changed for 180 degrees or 360, I don't know, whatever. I turned up. I was completely different. I went into the team of Sarah and I started my own business. And I'm self-employed since 20 years, but now I'm doing network, more efficiency and more with love and more with the power of helping each other and helping people to get a business to stand on your own feet. And that's my story. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Philip, for your story. So, one more, if there's anybody who want to share his experience, his why. If not, let's finish the call. 30 minutes are over. So I hope the translation was good also for the people who joined in German. And if you speak English and if you see this recording and you want more information, yes, ask for more inspiration calls. We had a lot of recordings and we have also some more information about the products, about the business, about the owner, about the history and about the future. But yeah, get in contact with the person who sent you this information. I will stop the recording and then we can switch to German.